Hey, what's up, slunts? Joker here. How's it going? Back by popular demand. In the comments yesterday, people wanted me to say, hey, what's up, slunts? I guess for old time's sake. So, hey, what's up, slunts? Joker here. And today we are back with some tech and gaming news. There was a lot of topics today. I initially just wanted to do a video geeking out about a game trailer that I saw for It Takes Two, which looks incredible. This is honestly the first time I've seen gameplay of it. Like, man, that game looks really good. I guess this is me geeking out about it now, but yeah, I'll probably have a brief mention on that towards the end of the video because there's actually some good tech topics today. We've got some news and leaks actually on the upcoming 11 series from Intel, the full specs, the entire lineup. All of the specs have been leaked, no pricing oddly, but we got the specs on the full lineup, which is not too impressive. Also, we've got more inventory for Ryzen CPUs showing up now for the Ryzen 5, so that's really good to see. And also, Microsoft has completed their acquisition of Bethesda, and they made mention of some future titles being exclusive to Microsoft. So we're going to get fired into all the news. But first, today's video is brought to you by Prime Tech Mart, where you can grab software products like Windows 10 Pro licenses for extremely cheap. They've also got Office products and Visio, as well as many more. You can save a lot of money on these keys with something like Windows 10 Pro. You can grab for just $21.43. It's a lifetime activation, so you don't ever need to renew it. You don't need to create an account with them in order to be able to buy it, and you get your key in just a matter of seconds. And if you hit up the links down in the description below and you want to save yourself an additional 20% off of any software over there, just go ahead and use my code JP20 at checkout, apply that, and it'll drop down 20%. So here on Windows 10 Pro for $21, you drop that down to $17 and you're fully activated for life. For more information, check out those links down in the description below along with the coupon code. We shall start off over on videocards.com, though, who are oddly enough reporting on processors, which they do all the time, even though they're called videocards.com. And this leak comes courtesy from a Chinese tech social media website called Weibo or Weibo. And basically over there, someone posted what appears to be a slide from an Intel press deck, something that would likely be distributed to the media next week, as we are expecting an announcement in the next week or so from Intel, formally about the Intel 11th series, which is expected to then launch towards the end of the month, is probably around when you'll see reviews and stuff start showing up. And we already took a look at some leaked numbers that show that these CPUs aren't that impressive, which we all kind of expected. This is like the, I don't know, what is this, like the sixth TOC on the 6700K on Skylake at this point? It's like tick, tock, 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 tock. What is this? How many pluses is on this 14 nanometer from Intel? But yeah, they got the specs that, even though we already know the 11700K was losing to the 5800X, they ditched the 10 core this time around. This is really nothing more than a stopgap launch until the 12th gen, which is probably going to have some exciting stuff. Finally, a process shrink. So really, that's the one that's going to be exciting that you're going to want to wait for. Really, the big feature this time around is that they're bringing in PCIe Gen 4, but that's really about it. Looking at the specs on this table here, actually, very surprised to just see like this entire lineup. Like there's so many different i7s and i9s, which is not unusual, but the i7 and the i9s are both 8 cores. So they got rid of the 10 core, but they still decided to do an i9 anyway. And as you can see here, whether you get an i9 11900K or an i7 11700K or any of the different SKUs in between, they're all 8 cores. I imagine there will be i5s that'll be 6 cores, but all the i7s and i9s are 8 cores, and the only differentiating thing really is the clock speeds out of the box and whether or not you can overclock them, although I don't really expect many of my viewers to buy locked processors. You likely would only be looking at the 11900K or the 11700K, which obviously are both unlocked. But really the key difference here is just the clock speeds. The i9 is 3.5 at the base, and it could boost up to 5.1, while the 11700K actually has a higher base clock of 3.6, but it only boosts up to 4.9. On Intel Turbo Boost 2.0. Both of them go up another 100 megahertz higher on Intel's Turbo Boost Max 3.0 technology. So yeah, really the only difference is the clock speed out of the box. I guess we'll have to see what the price is on it to determine whether or not the 11900K would be worth the price difference. But I would hope that there's not going to be a huge leap, but they shouldn't be charging i9 prices, in my opinion. They should not be charging what they charge for the 10900K for another 8-core, which is only going to be marginally faster and have fewer cores. So yeah, the 1100Ks are very likely just binned 8 cores, and this maybe we'll have to wait and see, I guess, once these things come out, how binned they actually are and how much better they overclock than the 11700K. Because if you could take the 11700K and easily, bump it up to 5 gigahertz and not have to go insane on your frequency or something, then I don't know why you would go out and buy the 11900K unless they're really, really well binned for like extreme overclocking and stuff like that. But honestly, I would say just go for if you were dead set on getting one of the 11th gen Intels, I would probably say the 11700K would be the better buy, as you can overclock it. But really, at the end of the day, we already saw leaked numbers. We already know the 5600X or the 5800X rather, would be the better purchase, or probably even the 5600X, which is actually the next topic for this video. I already reported the other day on the 5800X being readily available in stock, and now the 5600X 6-core 12-thread, you can see, is joining, as those are now in stock over on Amazon as of this morning for $341.49, which is, I believe, just under MSRP, which should be $350, so a little bit below what MSRP is, and they are available in stock. I'll have a link to this down in the description below if you want to pick one up. They're probably in stock on Newegg, although I have not checked. But yeah, on Amazon, they've got them in stock, and they have done since yesterday, I was reading. Although it does say here, they only have 19 left in stock, so order soon. By the time I post this, these may be gone. So if you've been waiting for a 5600X and they're still there, maybe grab one. Although I do think this is signs that they're going to have more inventory available, as the 5800X is still in stock, and the likelihood of them having the lower core counts is actually very good. While we still have not seen any Ryzen 9 stuff, so still no 12 cores, no 16 cores in stock right now, at least at MSRP. You're going to still be spending like $800-900 on those, which you should not. Wait for them to come down to MSRP, but it seems like AMD got at least the 8-core process sort of, pinned down, and, if they can make 8 cores, they can make 6 cores as far as, their yields are concerned. But it seems like maybe they're still having some issues with the 12 and 16 core yields on Ryzen 5000. But yeah, the 8 cores and 6 cores, those are now in stock, so grab those if you need one. Next up, we'll be talking about Microsoft, who has completed its acquisition of Bethesda. This came up last year, actually, late last year around September. I believe it was. Microsoft had acquired Bethesda. A lot of people were worried about, some of their titles like Fallout and stuff being exclusive to Microsoft, which they quickly promised people that they would not be doing. Although now we have learned that they will be having some exclusives. They completed their acquisition yesterday, and Phil Spencer was asked about it, and he said that there will be, quote unquote, some new titles that will only be available on Microsoft platforms. So new titles only, it sounds like. It doesn't seem like, there's a ton of studios that work underneath Bethesda that Microsoft has acquired from this. You got your Machine Games, Tango. Let's see, they got a few other ones listed here. Arcane, that worked on Dishonored. id works on the Doom games. Machine Games works on Wolfenstein. There's, I believe, 8 studios in total that fall under Bethesda that have now been acquired by Microsoft, which I really feel like is really what they're going after, is the manpower and the talent behind Bethesda. Well, we've had some shoddy quality. It's neither here nor there from some Bethesda titles. But let's just hope that, now having Microsoft behind them with more resources will maybe help them produce more polished titles in the future. And of course, Microsoft will definitely be growing its Game Pass library with Bethesda, as that was mentioned in the news story as well. But really the key thing I was curious about was if, we were going to see something like Fallout become a Microsoft exclusive, and maybe they will go back on their word on that. And at some point in the future, that will happen. But for right now, it seems like all of those titles will still be multi-platform for Xbox, as well as Sony, and also the PC. And in the future, we will probably hear some new titles from those Bethesda studios that will be exclusive to the Xbox and the PC. But we'll just have to wait and see on that. That's all the major news I have for you guys today. Although I did say I quickly wanted to mention a couple things at the end of this video for games. One was that Ancestors Legacy, which is an RTS that came out back in 2018, actually a very well received RTS game, actually has a free version now, which you can get over on Steam. It's actually called the Ancestors Legacy Free Peasant Edition. That's right. It's got mostly positive reviews, though. From what I was reading, oh yeah, it's in the description. It has 4 single-player missions, which are from the Viking campaign. Although there are, I believe, multiple campaigns, it only has 4 single-player missions, but it has all 17 multiplayer maps, which is probably what's really keeping this game going over the years, is the multiplayer portion of it. So yeah, if you want to grab the free Peasant Edition of Ancestors Legacy, you can do that now, and it seemingly have full access to the multiplayer, although, of course, if any expansions and stuff like that or DLC, you're probably not going to get in here unless they were free maps released for the multiplayer. But yeah, it's completely free, so why not? The main, the actual version of the game over on Steam is $35 for the full version of the game, and then the complete edition with all the extra stuff is actually $46 on sale right now, down 22%. So it would seem that's probably regularly $60. But yeah, a very well-reviewed game, and completely free with their Peasant Edition now. Probably comes with a 1050 Ti. Just kidding, you're not a peasant if you own a 1050 Ti, but you are. I own one. I don't use it, but I own one. Next, and lastly, before we get out of here, is It Takes Two, which is coming out on March 26th. Just a quick mention, there's really just a new trailer for it, and I honestly haven't seen much on this game, although I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with the development of it from Hazelight, because they worked on A Way Out, and also the person behind A Way Out also wrote and directed Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which are both 2-player cooperative games, and It Takes Two is very much sticking with that. It just seems like that's kind of what they do, is they work on 2-player co-op multiplayer experiences that are very story driven, and It Takes Two seems to be no different, and the visuals are definitely really nice on this. It kind of reminds me a lot of Sackboy or Little Big Planet type of co-op game, and Sackboy I'm actually currently playing in co-op with one of my buddies, and I'll definitely pick this up to play with him in co-op as well. Someone you've seen on the channel years ago, but he hasn't been around much lately, Kurt. But we usually play pretty much all co-op games together, and this one you actually only need one person to buy it, which is pretty cool. So even if you pick up It Takes Two, your buddy can play with you completely for free, which is nice. Maybe you could split a copy. But it's going to be on PC. It's going to be on the next-gen consoles, previous-gen consoles. I know the next-gen, there's no next-gen version of the game, but like if you could buy the PS4 version, play it on PS5, and the developers, from what I was reading, they said it's going to have, improved like frame rate and resolution, but they didn't have enough time to work on anything specific for, like, let's say the DualSense controller from Sony. They didn't do anything to fully leverage that or anything like that, as the consoles kind of came out late in their development process, but maybe in the future they could. But I really don't care about that, honestly, as long as it's running at a nice, smooth, consistent frame rate and the visuals look like they do in that trailer, then I will definitely be a buyer for It Takes Two, because it looks pretty friggin' awesome. But that is all I've got for you guys today. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and if you enjoyed these news topics or learned anything new, please leave a thumbs up on this video, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video.